A young chap. I worked for Canada Packers and started in a little town called Mount Forest, which is in Western Ontario. And then I went to school in Guelph. And after I worked in the creamery in Mount Forest.
What did you do at Guelph?
I went to the agriculture college. And after I left college, I went. The Canada Packers sent me to Bancroft, and I worked in Bancroft probably for about 3 years. And then Canada Packers sent me down to a town called Hastings, Ontario, and I was the quality control for the ice cream plant. We had an ice cream plant there. And then in October the 1st, 1957, I joined Agriculture Canada as a dairy products inspector, and I worked in Toronto for about a year and a half. Then I got a promotion to Hamilton, and I worked in Hamilton for about 3 years. And then I got another promotion back to Toronto, and I worked in Toronto for about a year. And a position came up in Kemptville as a cheese grater, and I applied for the job, and I got the job, and I moved to Kemptville, and I was in Kemptville 15 years. And while I was in Kemptville, I had to work in head office in Ottawa, and I was called a special projects officer. And there I traveled all over Canada. I have no idea how many times I went across Canada. I went to England twice, once to examine butter that they were bringing into Canada. The second time I went over there to examine cheddar cheese to see how our Canadian cheddar cheese was compared to, say, cheese from Australia or New Zealand, or even the English cheese. After I left Ottawa, I applied for a position in Belleville as inspector in charge, and I was in charge of this whole area as far north as North Sault Ste. Marie, really. Had one inspector in North Bay, one in Peterborough, 3 in Belleville, and 2 in Kemptville. And that was my area from the Quebec border to, let's say, Markham, up as far as Sault Ste. Marie. That was the area I was in charge of.
So what did that mean? You visited the factories, or?
No, I had the inspectors and I was their supervisor. Okay, and like I say, I was in charge of the inspection of dairy products for that district. For this, we called it the Belleville sub-district at that time. And anyways, one day I got a little provoked with my job. Working for the government's not easy. And it's very frustrating at times. And one day I just said, I was in Toronto, and I asked the personnel people, I said, can I get an early retirement? And they said, yes. And I said, well, would you send me the figures? And anyways, they sent me and told me how much a month I would get as a pension. I was only 50 years old when I retired. However, I've kept on, I'm still involved in the dairy industry.